Hello friends, it's Klauds and I am back with another video. So it's a little late, but I am here today with my mid-year book tag for 2022. Now, so far, I have read a total of 104 books. And I know it seems like a lot, but honestly, I read a lot of graphic novels this year, especially manga. So yeah, that really helped with the number count. So yeah, if you're shocked that I read 104 books, like don't be too shocked, because honestly, you can finish a manga in an hour. So I definitely read like a few volumes of a manga rather in one day. So yeah, that really helped with the count. But anyway, we have like 13 questions for this tag. And honestly, I could not, for like most of them or all of them, I could not pick just one book for a question. Like when I was preparing for this video and I was thinking which books for would I be answering, I couldn't pick just one, you guys. I spent like 5 minutes looking at my Goodreads. Like, I can't pick between the two or between the three, so I'm just gonna name them all. So, yeah, let's get on to the tag. First up, we have best book you've read so far in 2022. I have technically 4 answers for this. So the first one would be Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. This book has been talked about a lot in Book Talk, Bookstagram, Booktube. So basically, you have Viv, this orc who chooses to retire after 20 years of being a mercenary, and she finds a small town to settle down in and starts a little coffee shop. And normally when you think of fantasy, you think action-packed, adventure, sword fights,
far-off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, a prince in disguise.
All of these so many bloody things. So Legends and Lattes give you such a breath of fresh air because it's so calm. It's so chill. You just want to sit down and relax and kind of feel the vibe. It is literally the perfect coffee shop read. Other than Legends and Lattes, the other 3 books is actually the books of a trilogy. And that would be The Green Bone Saga by Fonda Lee. I cannot pick the best book. Maybe if I really had to pick, it would be Jade. Jade War. I am not going to start talking about Green Bone Saga right now, because if I get started right now, this entire video will just be about me talking about Green Bone Saga. So go check out my reading vlogs instead to see how that went out. Next is best sequel you've read so far. Jade War and Jade Legacy. And also another sequel that I really wanted to talk about, or at least another series, is Sweat and Soap by Kintetsu Yamada. This is actually a manga series that was completed this year or sometime last year. And for the best sequel, I really have to give props to volumes 9 and 10. More of 9 of the series, because this entire series is very happy-go-lucky, very soft and sweet and romantic and a little spicy, very mild spice. So when we get to volume 9, and I honestly thought we were gonna get a 3rd act breakup. It was that angsty. So for it to flow so cohesively and then get to that point, I really have to commend Kintetsu Yamada for that. It was really good. It was really good. yeah, go check out my review of Sweat and Soap. Next, we have new release you haven't read but want to. Look, last year, I ranted and raved about Wicked As You Wish by CHUPECO. So of course, I want to read the sequel. And that would be An Unreliable Magic. Wicked As You Wish was so good with the world building. And again, every time someone asks me to describe Wicked As You Wish, I seriously say, think of Shrek. Think of Shrek and how the Shrek universe is just a whole melting pot of all these fairy tales. But CHUPECO did more than fairy tales. They did fairy tales, they did folklore, they did mythology. So, what's not to like? And then how they were able to incorporate it into world history as well. Like, our world knows these things as fiction, whereas in the world of Wicked As You Wish, these things that we know as fiction are made into history. A world that's ours, except the history is our fiction. Oh my god, just go ahead and read it. Just go read it. Fuck, go read it. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have two answers for this. I have two answers. One would have to be Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. I loved these violent delights. I love Shakespeare. I was a theater major. So you can bet that I am very much excited for Chloe Gong's next release. And then my second answer would have to be Dauntless by Eliza Bonin. Dauntless has been raved about by so many people on Book Twitter and BookTube. Specifically by my good friends Spence from Sphinx Read and Kate from Your Tita Kate. They have been raving about this book so much. And I trust both of their opinions, so you can bet that I will definitely be reading Dauntless. Biggest disappointment. That would have to be Captive Prince by C.S. I read the first book and Captive Prince and recently the second book, and this series, this trilogy was just so hyped for me. So when I read the Captive Prince, I was so disappointed. I was like, what? Where's the excitement? I don't know, I felt so underwhelmed. And then I wasn't even sure that I was going to continue reading the series. But then I was shopping at Fully Booked and I saw that they had a rare copy of the second book. So I read it and I ended up really liking that one. I guess, you know, like, I think that's the thing with first books of a series sometimes. It focuses more on the world building and introducing your characters that, I don't know, I just wasn't really into the plot and I just felt so underwhelmed that I did not know where we were going. So, yeah. Another disappointment would have to be The Silent Patient by... is it Alex Mike? Yeah. Yeah. Silent Patient. I read this as part of the Little Bloom's book club book of the month, I think last February or March. And I was so into it. I was so into The Silent Patient. And then we get to the ending. And yeah, the ending just ruined it for me. Biggest surprise. 3 books. 3 books. I have 3 answers for this. First is, as I mentioned earlier, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Next is Sweat and Soap by Kintetsu Yamada. And lastly, another big surprise was A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. And basically, this was how he looked like at the end of the book. Suffice it to say, I enjoyed it very much and was very much tempted to throw it across the room. Fave new author, Travis Baldry and Fonda Lee, and if you still do not understand why those two authors are my answers, rewatch this video. Newest fictional crush. I have two. So the first would be Natori Kotaro, who is the love interest in Sweat and Soap. This man has raised my standards for men. I love him so much. Like, okay, so like Sweat and Soap, you know, you have your main character, Asako, who's super introverted and, you know, just wants to get by and survive. And you have Kotaro, who is this loud, boisterous gentleman, and they both work in the same company, and they meet each other, and they slowly start to fall for each other, and he pushes her so much because, like, he really helps raise her confidence without even trying, without forcing her, and he respects her so much. Oh my god, the bar is set so low. I literally just said he respects her so much. The bar is set that fucking low. Oh my god. So yeah, look, just go read Sweat and Soap. You can read it online. You can buy copies. I will link down below the Shopee stores I bought it in if you can't find it in Fully Booked. So yeah, another crush I gained this year. And that would be Kaol Hilo from the Green Bone Saga. Look, when this man is on the page, I don't know what to do with myself. Sometimes I don't want to side with him because he does get a little dangerously violent, and other times I'm just like, yes, daddy. No! Ah! Moving on before I show everyone how much I thirst over fictional characters. Newest favorite character. Natori Kotaro, Kaol Hilo, and Viv from Legends and Lattes. Are we surprised at this point? Book that made you cry. Okay, I have a few answers for this. So we got The Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman, of course. The Green Bone Saga, namely Jade War and Jade Legacy. And also The Magic Fish by, I'm so sorry for butchering this, Trung Ly Nguyen. So this is a graphic novel about this Vietnamese mother and son, and they both share a love for fictional stories. So while the mother is thinking about her mother whom she left back in Vietnam, her son, on the other hand, is trying to find a way to tell his mother about his sexuality. Book that made you happy. Are we even surprised at this point? Legends and Lattes and Sweat and Soap. Just leave it at that. The most beautiful book you bought or received so far. The Green Bone Saga. I rarely buy hardbacks, but for this, I bought hardbacks. My wallet was not happy. I'd have to give a special mention to Some Girls Do by Jennifer Dugan, because though I was a little disappointed by the actual story, I have to admit the cover is gorgeous, and I don't know, I'm a sucker for like the use of pastels on covers, especially this one where it seemed almost watercolor-like. Yeah. Lastly, what books do you need to read by the end of this year? Okay. So I really want to read the Devabad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. I have heard great things about this series, and I even already bought the actual. I already even bought copies of the book. Now I just have to read them. Other than that, I would also really like to read The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I have seen my friends rave about this book. I've been meaning to get back into like high fantasy recently because I've been reading contemporaries a lot these past few months or weeks. So yeah, I think that's about it. Hopefully I can get copies of Dauntless and an Unreliable Magic soon. So yeah, anyway. That was my mid-year book tag, you guys. I have been putting off filming this video, and now that I've done it, I feel very good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a like anyway. Leave a comment down below, subscribe, click on the bell icon, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!